Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Yes, I'm back at last. It's weird. I always apologise for the reams and reams of videos I put up in 7 days. I might sometimes put up 3 or 4 videos. And then other days, 5 days, 7 days go past and you don't get one. It really just depends what I've got to speak about or show, that type of stuff. As you'll see by the photograph, it's the last two of the Hussars, British Hussars, Perry Plastics 28mm. You can move that round into whatever format floats your boat, really. Big apologies. I did, one moment. There we go. I should have done that earlier. Right, sorry for that interruption. Yeah, big apologies. I haven't filmed a tutorial on the... I said I would do a horse tutorial and I haven't. I still can do one. I've got more than enough in Perry. I've got 2 boxes of Perry Plastics Hussars, 1 French, 1 British. I've got some Warlord Epic coming, which, all right, didn't do a horse tutorial on 13 mils, but I don't even know why I mentioned that really. But what I meant to say was I've also got those Romans from Victrix. I've got those 3 Roman generals I bought as a sprue. They're all been cleaned off and potted and stuff, and although I don't believe I've primed them. If I haven't, that's been a massive oversight. But yeah, I could still do one. The reason I didn't was my wife's been working from home. There's been, obviously, because she does office-based stuff, which is why she's working from home. If she was a scaffolder, she might have had some problems doing that. Not that my missus has ever been a scaffolder. What am I saying this for? I've got no idea. But what I'm saying is there was a lot of noise. And even though she puts the earplugs in, you put the earplugs in, you just seem to sound louder. And that's downstairs, and I'm up here. And I just got so fed up in the end. I cannot find a way. I don't know how to do one of these voiceovers. I've got the microphone symbol on the computer. I've only got one of these Microsoft, and you know, the computer's fairly old. It's probably about 6, 7, 8 years old now. And I, for the life of me, don't know how to do these voiceovers that some of the other guys do. Which means I have to do them, you know, speak as I'm doing something. Well, if there's a load of racket going on, TV playing sometimes, or let's say my wife working, it's a nightmare trying to do that stuff. And then when I finally try and do it, to be fair, the amount of people that ever watch those videos are minuscule. I mean, obviously all of us that do content creators, I hate that word, we make videos. You obviously see, which I don't do, it goes over my head a lot of it. I don't do a lot of perusing all the graphs and that, because with my head problems, it just burns out. Lots of figures, lots of goings up and down, pies. I love pies, but the ones I like to eat, not these pie graphs. No good. You know, I like to see that if a video's doing well, great. You know, I'll see what's, you know, I'll see if what they do, that monthly thing where you can see what the videos are. You know, I like to see what does well. It doesn't particularly change what I do. I've always said I'm not a channel that makes content. You know, when guys say, what do you want to see? What do you want me to build, or what do you want me to paint? And I have no offence to the people that do that. I'm not doing it. It's my channel. I just put up what I want to put up. But I do find that the tutorials I do, they're overly, yeah, this is me, see? I'm only supposed to show you two Hussars, and I'm spending half an hour talking before I even show those Hussars. You get more fun just looking at the little, what they call it, thumbprint, or what do they call it at the beginning. Yeah, I get hardly any love for those, you know what I mean? I get some good loyal marras that probably haven't watched them but have put a comment down, and I really appreciate that. But I don't really, my videos never get out there to the wider public to watch, and if they want to see how to paint a horse, you know. And yes, I am all about community, so if 3 people want me to paint a horse, I should paint a horse for them. But at this end, there's a lot, it's not having to do with about video editing, because I don't do any of it. It's just trying to, there's times, and I just, you know, it's just too much. It's, and that that saps it out of you then. You know, these could have been completed a couple of weeks ago, really, and I keep going, oh, I'll do it till tomorrow. And then something else comes up and you can't fit it in, and then, you know, and it's just goes on. So I just thought, oh, I'll stuff this. And he said something else then. I'm painting these and I'm basing them. I've had enough now. They've been hanging around for too long. So we'll go down and we'll just have a quick twirl around in the fingers there, see the painted to the officer and the trumpeter. I've noticed a couple of things that I'm going to have to change on them. But I've got more Napoleonics coming up. What I was going to do a box of French Hussars next, but I thought, well, you know, I'm not saying I'm all Hussard out, but I thought what I'm going to do is I've got a box of Epic, and I mean the Brigade box of French Middle and Old Guard coming from well, not from Warlord, but you know, they're the Warlord Epic. I've even just bought. She's gonna kill me. Will you stop pressing that email? But I've been fancying doing some. I love my American Civil War, and I like painting Confederacy, although I'm a Union man. General George Thomas, Rock of Chickamauga. But yeah, I do like painting Rebs, just because I can faff around with the colours and stuff. So I bought a single sprue of them just now. But I have got a pocket box of I think, I'm not even sure, I did read that, so obviously there can be some Old Guard Grenadiers in there, but it says Old Guard, Middle Guard, Brigade Commander probably, stuff like that. Being painted to sell those ones. I've got those British up for sale on eBay if anybody wants to go over and take a look. You'll see it's my work. It'll say Gavin underneath. I'm faffing around putting links up, but yeah, those British I painted, that one single regiment of foot guards, they're up there. The artillery piece isn't in that because I'm waiting I'll buy a couple of extra sprues and then finally make a battery up and sell the battery as a battery. Same with the light infantry, they're not part of that price, because again, I'll buy another couple of single sprues to make it. I should have just bought the box, but I just wanted to test what they were like. But I really do like them. They've got a lot of character. I'm not a big fan of the cavalry. It's weird. The infantry are really nicely posed on those. They're shoulder to shoulder, and they've just got a feel about them. I would have liked. Again, we always like more, don't we? I would have liked the odd officer and drummer sprinkled in the other bases, because I like that on stuff that I do myself. Can't always do it, but I do like to see that. I find the cavalry. And I've still got those light cavalry to finish off, but because I bought a sprue and didn't realise they were a mix of cavalry, I'm going to have to buy 2 more sprues, and I just haven't got around to that yet. But they will get done and finished off and shown at some stage. But I do love their infantry. So I thought, stuff this. I saw some of Scott's again over at the Liberator 240 channel. He just put some Lancers up. And I thought I'd like to do some more Epic. I'm not sure I'm going to really enjoy doing a whole brigade of them, but in for a penny, in for a pound, as we say over here. So yeah, I've got a brigade of them, a box, hopefully, with our postal situation. I know they're not on strike at the moment, but everything just seems to be disappearing into the ether at the moment. I've just had to reclaim another Harry Potter figure that never arrived after about 6 weeks. Which I was refunded for, so thank you very much for that, Sarah. But yeah, so I've got that to come. So what I'm going to do, it'll be fairly epic be fairly epic orientated at the moment. We have a brigade of French Old Guard for Waterloo, or around that, the 100 days. We're going to have a single sprue of Confederates. And I think that's for their Gettysburg box, so I really should, I'll probably have to buy one of them Gettysburg sheets, and then I'll just pick a regiment off those. But I will do, to keep the 28mm nap guys interested, and because I enjoy doing them, I will do the French Hussars as well, but I'm only going to be doing literally, like, again, 2 figures, and rather than it it'll be even longer gap between them. And I'll be bouncing around there. I've got some 40k stuff. I know, Gav doing 40k. Who'd have thought it? Again, the two that I've got, two Chaos Space Marines from a box I've had years and years and years and years ago. I've got a couple of 3 left. I've just been painting them just for getting my eye in and failing abysmally, really. We'll go into that. But I'm just making some bases up for those 2 at the moment. That's just a bit of fun. Can't really see me selling them. Not with one with something stuck on upside down. No, it's not his head. But yeah, I've got some of that coming. I've got another 40k project on the way, if that gets to me. But we'll go into that when we get it. I'm not going to talk about that one at the moment. 6 mils, the 2d6 stuff. I've got the Panther based and painted, but I didn't see the sense in just doing one guy. And the other 3 are being painted a hop and a catch. Another British saying. So every now and then. That's it really. Oh, the 1 in 48, I was falling on my face with a base with that yesterday, but I've done some of the base. Once I've done this video, I'll be doing some more on the base. So that is almost to completion now. I've made 1 base and 3 it in the bin. I'm making a second base, and although that could go again in the bin as well, I'm just saying I can't do any more on that. It's starting to run out of steam with me. So that will be the 1 in 35 M48 tank for Vietnam. That's for the heavy guns and armour, heavy armour and guns. You know the one I'm talking about. That'll be up soon. As I say, figures have now been painted for that. I've only got to add the little microphone bits on. I'm going to make them up probably tonight, because I want that done now. That's starting to wear on me. It was great where I was building it and stuff, and I've the tank itself don't really. It's not the tank. It's just it's an old kit, you know, and it's gone as far as I want to go with it really, and I never wanted to spend any money on it, so I've been using whatever I've got in my cupboards and stuff. Hence me making helmets and things for the Tamiya World War II crewmen to try and pretend that they're Vietnam crewmen. So that's that, because when that's out of the way, I want to have a couple of weeks working on the Lexington and HMS Kent. I want to get back to my ships for a while, and then I want to do that PTSD build with the BV 206S, is it? Something like that. That's a 1 in 35 scale build, so that will be another model build coming up, but it won't be for 2 weeks to a month yet. I would really like to go up there because she's covered up over there, the Lexington, but I'd like to have gone the Lexington. I wanted to show HMS Kent some love, so doing that because she's in a drawer down there at the dust. Sorry. So I talk like this, it's like just like talking to you as if you're here, talking to you. Right. Anyway, I'll put a ramble on this, I think, as well on the thing, because that's what it's turning into, isn't it? Let's go down to the bench. Have I got anything else to say? Did I cover everything? Just about. We've covered models, we've covered 28 mils, we've covered 40k, we've covered 6 mils, and Warlord Epic. Was there anything else, Gav? There was. Still got an unboxing of the Bismarck to do yet, in 1 in 700. Oh, the Marine. Has that Marine got any further forward? No. Marine, we need to get them. Oh, 2 chin helmet straps, that's all. They're about this big. Not even that, because it's obviously a smaller scale, but you know, that big. That's all it needs. Painting, stick on helmet, screw onto the thing that's already screwed onto the base. Job done. Oh well, we'll get there. Let's go down to the bench. Alright guys, I should do these timestamps on these, do I? But that's again something I just, you know what, they can find their way around the video. They'll skip most of it anyway. So yeah, we're here at the bit that the people that just want to see painted Napoleonics and couldn't give a brass razoo about Gav rambling about everything else. This is what you've come for. Right, I don't know if we can show, it's because it's a lighter. There is texture on this horse, obviously. I've done all the others. It's just a bit harder to see with the lights. A bit disappointed in my work on the... Oh, so I'm just trying to find something I can point with that isn't actually pointy. Oh well, we'll have to... Right, badge here. Not great. It never is in metallics for me on a small scale. I'm not going to try, and the problem is when you put badges on the 28mm, you're more inclined to go too large because you're trying to obviously make them big enough that you can actually get all the details in, and then they become huge. And I prefer just to give either leave them off completely or just do an inflection. Is that what they call it? Showing that what's roughly there anyway. But the problem is because it's metallic, it tends to just get lost in the background. So I may, as I've done on this numerals here, I may just have to try and put the George Regina, so GR, and then there's a bit of a crown. I might just have to do that as a colour. I wouldn't really want to because it's an officer and it's obviously all in. He's got his bully and his silver stuff on. So yeah. Anyway, that's. I've done all the horses' brass work in brass rather than like a silver colour, because even I was surprised. I thought the officers' cummerband, like barrel sash or whatever they call it, it's a barrel sash actually. I thought that would have been in the regimental colours but with silver, but Perry's are showing it as like the others, red and brass type of bullion. So that's what's on there. So that's what I followed. Just about see some of the... It's only because it's fairly lighter, but there's texture in there as well. As I say, I've mentioned it how I've done it before. In fact, I've shown it as I've been going on a couple of the figures. So basically, when I do texture, you can do lines. I tend to do more dots. I will stipple on lots of dots. Sometimes in two colours, sometimes one. As in two. So if I'm going into the shaded areas, darker areas, I might use a slightly darker colour than the highlights. But sometimes I think this one just had the one colour. So it was like a probably ochre. It was either stone or ochre yellow. I'd used as like lots of little dots over the high points and some of the low points. It looks a bit off until you then put a heavy glaze or even a wash over, and it then becomes it merges in with the background. The lower bits here, by the way, they're not particularly socks. It's again, it doesn't show up on the lighter horses, but I've done the same, like dust effects up the legs on the lower part of the scabbard and the boots and the overalls. There's a couple of things I need to change on it. Well, not change on this guy. Like the try and make that slightly better if I can. There's a bit more black lining, I believe, on this guy. I might be wrong. And when I say black lining, I use rubber black because it's got it's like a browny black, so it's not too stark. But yeah, that's our officer. Just tried to do him on a slightly different horse than maybe some of the others, just to show a different quality of horse, I suppose. Here's our trumpeter. And again, you can see the texture in there. We put some dapples in as well. I didn't want the dapples to stand out overly dotty, if that makes sense. So I've merged them in places. Some are more merged in than others. I've done a pinkish hoof with the yellow showing through, which is what I'd seen on the horse I was actually following. The muzzle. I've used old rose on that. You can use flesh colours. You'll see on some of my other ones I got flesh colours, because again, when you look at the different types of horses, even amongst all the greys, they will have different muzzle tones. But I fancied old rose on that one and on the officer's one. Thank you. Just invest in some better scenery. Right. And yeah, again, red. I thought that the decorations would have been the same for the regimental colours, but they weren't. Again, Parry's was showing red, so I've just gone with those. So the next time you see these guys, they shall be all on bases. I think I'm using 50mm bases with these, 50mm square bases, I believe. MDF. I don't use the Perry plastic bases, but I'll be putting these on MDF. Obviously there's no colours with these. There's no standard bearers, if you want to put it that way. And obviously just the one officer and the one trumpeter. So yeah, I won't show these again now until they're all mounted, which will just, so you might even get a video. Who am I kidding? But you might get a video towards the end of the week. If not, it'll be the following week, but they'll be done and dusted. As I say, a couple of week delay on these really, just because it's just never been an opportune moment to actually you know, get a video up. As I say, I'll apologise because I've done lots of build up. I'm going to do a how-to video, and it just, as I say, for the I was going to say sounds really bad for the feedback I get, but for the people that utilise the videos, it's just nobody's interested, to be honest with you, and I don't blame them, because I'm not great at doing this type of thing, and people tend to scroll past. I'm not a giant channel that sucks in a lot of people that might actually be interested but just don't know I exist. So you know, I will do it if there is a big call, and I'm not doing this for comments or whatever, but if there is a big call out that people would still like how I've done these, then, you know, obviously I'm going to say put a comment down, but put a comment down. I can always do it on the Roman horse, one of the Roman generals' horses, or if you really want to see it on a Napoleonic horse, as I say, I've got French Napoleonics that I'll be doing, and I'll do my best to try and get a tutorial up. But as I say, there's just no interest, you know, and you'll hear a lot of tubesters say when they make videos, you know, you can sometimes bang your head against a brick wall type of thing. I much prefer to put stuff up that I'm doing and I want to put up. As I say, I've got no problems doing tutorials, but you might get 3 or 4 people go, "Hey, that's great, brilliant, Gav, thank you very much," and that really means a lot. It does. I'd prefer to have 3 or 4 people, you know, than nothing. It's just that it does take me a long time to do them, and for the time I use up, it sometimes, you know, it's not worth the effort that I'm putting into doing them. I'll have to do I've even thought, I mean, the problem is if I try to do one of them live streams, I can't look at people's, well, probably only about 3 people watching it anyway, but I can't look at people's comments and paint at the same time, if that makes sense. Right, enough waffle. Look after yourselves. Keep sticking them videos up if you guys that make videos. I've really been enjoying them. And there will be, we're hitting that run again at the moment where I've probably got a flood of videos coming up, if that makes sense. As I say, it just depends when projects have got to a stage where I can actually show you guys something that I want to show, type of thing. Right, take care, and we'll speak soon and see each other soon on another video.